It was in the spring in 1965 that we saw the first overt action against the government. About 8 to 12 people, I can't remember the exact number, went out to the air base here in Madison to, in effect, a citizen's arrest of the base commander for war crimes.
The air base was a symbol of the military in our community, and that's where the confrontation had to take place. The leaders of the anti-war movement were infuriated. The whole issue of civil disobedience threatened the hell out of them because they felt that only legalistic methods would attract the majority of middle-class students that they hoped to reach and members of the community. There were threats that came into us from Truax Air Base that we would be shot. The place was covered with journalists. And we asked to see the head of the air base, to have him informed that we want an entrance to the base and that we plan to arrest him. He refused to come out. We maintained our presence there, and people were arrested and carried away to jail.
Don't you realize it's important that we're protesting?
What do you think of the peace movement in this country?
I don't think that the people that are advocating it or standing behind it understand the overall situation. They don't understand the Asiatic mind, and they don't understand that we're endeavoring to stop communism on the line over there and not permit it to spread to free nations.
A number of us, including Congressman Ben Rosenthal, who is here today with me, had asked that the Foreign Affairs Committee hold hearings, public hearings on the question of Vietnam. They have not done so. And it's my feeling then that if there are not to be hearings in Washington on this crucial question, we ought to have hearings at the grassroots back home. And this, as far as I know, is the first effort of this type.
This hearing is a brave thing, and it is good that it is first held in the Midwest, which has often been called a hotbed of lethargy. What is not good is that we must wait until a time of crisis before putting the machinery of democracy into high gear. Gentlemen, I ask you to tell your colleagues that we in the Peace Center, like thousands of students throughout this country, are willing to defend and support democratic and social revolutions, if only this government has the courage to do so. But if it does not, we believe that this government must be changed.
After having heard about the hearings, I felt it my duty to speak out my concern. I have 4 children and am a housewife. I have never done anything political other than voting, and I'm not particularly interested in politics, but I do read the papers, and I'm confused by the news. I talk to people, and I don't like what I hear. If this war is so unpredictable and goes on for 6 years, 7 years, decades, my children could be drawn into this horror. I have read and heard about some of the atrocities, and it is unbearable for me to know that our boys are taught and made to use napalm and phosphorus bombs. I try to teach my children the value of individual human worth, and I don't want this destroyed by my country. I do not have a solution to the war, but I do want a solution, and I want you to find it. Thank you.